Under the new rules, brokers will have to follow fiduciary duty. That is the legal responsibility to act solely in the best interest of the client, just like certified financial planners. Brokers say this will force some independent advisors out of the retirement market and injure investors. Joining us now is our own Sharon Epperson, as well as Doug Flynn, certified financial advisor with Flynn Zito Capital Management, and Dale Brown, president and CEO of the Financial Services Institute. Sharon, because what I just read even confused me. Please put this into plain English.
This is the question that your broker or financial advisor does not want you to ask, and that is, do you uphold the fiduciary or suitability standard? Think of it like this. You go to a doctor, the doctor doesn't accept insurance, and they need to write you a prescription for a drug. They write you a prescription that works best for you. That's the fiduciary standard. You go to another doctor who works for a big pharmaceutical company. They get a bonus on prescriptions for drugs from that pharmaceutical company, and they write you a prescription for that drug, even though you tell them that maybe another drug works better for you. That's the suitability standard. It's fine, but it may not be in your best interest. And so that's what you need to find out from your advisor, whether they uphold the fiduciary or the suitability standard. And now what the government wants to make sure is the fiduciary standard is upheld by everyone.
So what are then the correct questions to ask?
There are three questions I think you really need to ask your advisor. And the first one, of course, is how do you get compensated? Is it fee only? Is it commission only? Is it a combination of those? And then are you getting an advisory account or a brokerage account? And this will determine whether or not they're going to be perhaps a registered investment advisor and overseen by the Security and Exchange Commission, or whether they're operated by, overseen by FINRA, or both. And then also find out exactly what any conflicts of interest may be and how they're going to explain those to you. And the best way to make sure that you have someone who upholds this fiduciary standard is to get a certified financial planner like we have on the panel right here, and get someone who is bound to uphold that fiduciary standard based on the designation they have and the testing that's been required that they go through.
Dale, I want to go to you. This seems like a great deal for consumers. It seems like it would be in their best interest to have somebody working in their best interest as opposed to what simply is suitable. Why is this bad?
Well, it's not necessarily bad as long as we avoid the potential unintended consequences. The people who need help and guidance and advice the most are people with only thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to invest. And in most cases, the options and choices available to them are an advisor where they can pay their advisor by a commission rather than an ongoing asset management fee. Our concern is about the potential negative unintended consequences of a broad and sweeping proposal.
Which are what? What are the unintended consequences?
Well, if it drives up the cost to a financial advisor to the point where they can no longer afford to provide those services to small investors, then investors have fewer and fewer choices of where they can go and get that help and guidance.
Doug, I would imagine this will create more competition in the marketplace. If all of a sudden you've got thousands of brokers out there who have to act in the best in a fiduciary way, then you sort of level the playing field. It increases competition, and therefore there could be more price competition. That would therefore be beneficial to consumers.
I think anything like that is great for consumers. I think a lot of this came from the fact when the waters got muddied, when the brokerage firms started allowing their brokers to be called financial advisors, and people really, although they expect the fact that their investment person should be acting in their best interest, it isn't always the case. I'm a big fan of more disclosure and more transparency, and with that, it's just very simple. You can act as a broker. That will allow those people to still be serviced, but just understand that there are conflicts there. And the big difference with a financial advisor is that you can have conflicts, but they must be disclosed. And part of the issue here is that when the Department of Labor is stepping in here saying we want to do a fiduciary standard, their definition is that there can be no conflicts. And this is going to cause some unintended consequences. But to your question, we would welcome more people in the industry. There are less people in the industry now than there were 15 years ago. There are 10,000 baby boomers retiring every day. We need more good qualified people that do work in the best interest of their clients in this field. And we have a choice as an investment person how you want to work. Do I want to work for a big brokerage firm and be a broker? Or do I want to be a fiduciary standard following person as an RIA or as a CFP, as we've chosen to be? You can choose to do that, and I would welcome that.
And I think people need to understand that there are different ways that these brokers and the investment advisors are compensated, and that's a key point to understand. And when you say that some people, and this is true, many people have just $5,000, $10,000 to invest, how can they hire an advisor? Hire an advisor on an hourly basis. There are certified financial planners that work that way, but I think consumers just need to be educated that there are people there that can help them on a range of topics, and just picking out one investment product for someone might not necessarily be in their best interest either. Someone who's going to look at your whole financial history and your financial goals is what you want.
Sharon, Doug, Dale, thank you all very much.